let's talk about a quiet change you may have noticed. For years, your body responded in a certain way to your daily rhythms. Then, seemingly overnight, things feel different. You look in the mirror and notice your midsection has become persistent. You haven't started eating dramatically more or stopped moving altogether, yet that familiar waistline seems to be fading. It's a deeply frustrating puzzle. Many of us feel this way, and it leads to one nagging question: what changed? Here is the most important thing to understand right now: this is not your fault. It's not a lack of willpower or a personal failing. What you are experiencing is a profound biological transition, a shift in your body's inner rules that often begins in our 60s. The game has changed, but no one handed you the new rulebook. That ends today. So, if it's not about trying harder, what is the solution? I want to be perfectly clear from the start. I am not offering a miracle pill, a bizarre diet, or an exhausting exercise regimen you can't sustain. Those are the old rules, and they rarely work for long anymore. Instead, I want to offer you something far more powerful: understanding. Think of this as a practical guide to cooperation. We are going to learn how to align your simple evening routines with your body's new, natural rhythm for managing weight after 60. We will walk through 4 specific, gentle bedtime habits. None require exercise equipment, strenuous activity, or feeling hungry. Each one is designed to send a very precise, calming signal to your metabolism. You see, every habit targets a distinct hormonal or metabolic key that becomes especially important as we age. This isn't random advice, it's strategic physiology. But before we jump to the what, we must first understand the why. There is no need to rush. Our first and most important step is to pull back the curtain on what I call your body's night shift. Once you see this internal blueprint, how your metabolism actually operates while you sleep, these 4 habits won't just seem like a list. They will feel like the obvious, logical, and gentle keys you've been searching for. To make sense of those 4 habits, let's first understand the engine we're working with. For most of your life, your metabolism functioned like a reliable, robust furnace. It burned fuel at a fairly predictable rate, and it could handle inconsistent fueling times or less than ideal fuel quality without too much fuss. It was forgiving. After 60, that system undergoes a significant refinement. It becomes less of a roaring furnace and more of a precise, sensitive instrument. It reacts more acutely to the signals you send it, particularly in the evening and overnight. This is the heart of the change. 2 primary hormonal shifts drive this new sensitivity. First, your body naturally produces less human growth hormone. This isn't just about building muscle. It's a master regulator for repair and for how your body uses stored fat for energy. With less of it, your body's inclination to hold on to fat, especially around the middle, increases. Second, your cells can become more resistant to insulin. Insulin is the hormone that escorts sugar from your bloodstream into your cells for energy. When cells become resistant, they don't answer the door as quickly. This leaves more sugar circulating, which insulin then diligently stores away, often as belly fat. This is crucial. Your evening choices now carry extraordinary weight. What you eat and when you eat it, how you sleep, and how you relax send direct commands to this newly sensitive system. But here's the empowering flip side: this very sensitivity is your greatest leverage. By learning to send calm, clear signals at bedtime, you can gently steer this precise instrument away from fat storage and directly toward fat burning. Now, it's important to understand why this particular fat around your middle is such a concern. This isn't just subcutaneous fat, the softer layer under your skin that acts as padding. The fat that accumulates deep within your abdomen, surrounding your organs, is biologically active tissue. Think of it less as inert storage and more like an organ itself, one that is constantly sending out signals. This visceral fat acts as a tiny factory, pumping out proteins and hormones that promote chronic, low-grade inflammation throughout your entire body. This inflammation directly irritates your blood vessels, straining your heart and cardiovascular system. It also interferes with your pancreas's ability to manage blood sugar effectively, paving the way for insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. You can think of this deep belly fat as a persistent, silent alarm system. It's constantly broadcasting a message of crisis to your body, saying, "We are under stress. Store more fuel. Be ready for an emergency." This triggers a cascade of hormonal responses that prioritize storing energy, not using it. Therefore, your mission each evening is not about punishment or deprivation. It is about turning off that false alarm. It's about using your nightly routine to send a countersignal of safety, calm, and predictable rhythm to your entire system. When your body receives these signals consistently, it can finally stand down from its state of alert. It can shift from a defensive posture of storage to a restorative mode of repair and renewal. And this restorative mode, beautifully, requires energy it will gladly pull from those stored reserves you've been carrying carrying. So, how exactly do we send those calming signals? Let's move from understanding to action, beginning with the most impactful habit for your 60-plus metabolism, setting a firm finish line for eating each evening. Your first habit is straightforward and powerful. Aim to have your last bite of solid food, or your last sip of any beverage with calories or sugar, by 7 p.m. Please do not misunderstand this as a call to starve yourself. This is not about going to bed hungry. It is about establishing a clean, predictable rhythm for your digestive system and your hormones. You are intentionally creating an extended overnight fasting window. This period of rest from digestion is a gift to your body. Here's what happens. When you stop consuming calories, your insulin levels, that powerful storage hormone we discussed, finally get a chance to decline and remain low for many hours. This low insulin state is the essential metabolic switch. It is the signal that tells your body it is permissible, even preferable, to access your stored fat reserves to fuel its overnight maintenance and repair work. Think of it like this. Finishing your eating by 7 p.m. is like clearing the dinner dishes from the table. It allows the cleaning crew, your internal fat-burning systems, to come in and do their job thoroughly without interruption. If a strict 7 p.m. deadline doesn't fit your life, the principle is consistency. Choose a time that gives you a reliable 3-hour buffer between your last calorie and your bedtime, and stick to it. You might wonder why this specific timing matters so much more now than it did in your 40s or 50s. The reason lies in your body's ancient circadian rhythm. As evening approaches, your body naturally prepares for rest, and part of that preparation involves a subtle increase in insulin resistance. It's a leftover evolutionary trait, a way to preserve blood sugar for your brain overnight when you wouldn't be eating. When you consume calories late in the evening, you are asking your pancreas to work against this natural tide. It must pump out much more insulin to overcome the resistance and process the incoming sugar. This results in a higher, more prolonged spike of insulin circulating in your bloodstream right as you're trying to wind down. This late insulin surge is a direct command to your fat cells, particularly those in the abdominal region, to open their doors and store that energy. You are essentially force-feeding your belly fat at the worst possible metabolic moment. By moving your eating window earlier, you work in harmony with your body's innate rhythm. You allow insulin to do its job efficiently during your active hours and then gracefully bow out for the night. Many people find they wake up feeling noticeably lighter and less puffy when they make this shift. Now, this does raise a practical question. What can you enjoy after 7 o'clock? So, after 7 o'clock, your kitchen is officially closed for business when it comes to food, but it remains open for one very special, supportive beverage. This is your new evening elixir. I generally recommend a warm, caffeine-free herbal tea like chamomile or peppermint, or a very small glass about 4 ounces of pure, unsweetened tart cherry juice. These choices are not just flavored water. Chamomile contains apigenin, a compound that gently encourages relaxation. Tart cherry juice is a natural source of melatonin and anti-inflammatory compounds. Sip it slowly, deliberately. Turn this into a cherished, 5-minute ritual. This simple act accomplishes 2 important things perfectly. It provides hydration without triggering an insulin response, and more importantly, it sends a direct, sensory signal to your brain that the day's work is complete. It is the first, gentle step in the wind-down process, a process that leads us directly to your second, and deeply connected, habit. Now, let's shift our focus to what happens after you finish your evening elixir and your head hits the pillow. This is where a profound metabolic transformation can occur, but only if you understand sleep for what it truly is. Not merely a state of rest, but a period of active, hormonal housekeeping. While you are drifting through the deepest stages of sleep, your pituitary gland releases its most significant daily pulse of human growth hormone. Remember, this is the hormone that supports metabolism, tissue repair, and crucially, the mobilization of fat for energy. Think of deep sleep as the maintenance shift in a factory. This is when the crew comes in to repair machinery, take out the trash, and restock the shelves using stored supplies. If your sleep is light, fragmented, or cut short, this vital pulse of growth hormone is dramatically reduced. Your body misses its prime window for repair and renewal. Therefore, improving your sleep quality is not just about banishing morning fatigue. It is about giving your body the unequivocal hormonal signal that it is safe and time to burn fat. The goal becomes cultivating that deep, uninterrupted sleep. And for those of us over 60, 2 of the most gentle yet effective levers we can pull involve a specific, calming mineral, and a simple adjustment to the light around us. Let's start with the internal support, magnesium. You can think of magnesium as your body's fundamental relaxation mineral. It is a cofactor, or essential helper, in over 300 different enzymatic reactions in your body. A great many of these are directly involved in calming your nervous system, relaxing your muscles, and regulating the natural sleep-wake cycle. The challenge is that as we age, our bodies often become less efficient at absorbing magnesium from our food, and certain medications can further deplete our levels. This is where a small, targeted supplement can be incredibly helpful. I specifically recommend the form called magnesium glycinate. It is highly absorbable and gentle on the digestive system. A dose of about 200 to 300 milligrams, taken roughly 30 minutes before you plan to sleep, can work subtle wonders. It is crucial to check with your doctor first, especially if you have kidney concerns or are on medication. This isn't a sedative that forces you to sleep. It's a nutritional support that quiets the physiological static, the muscle tension, and nervous chatter that can keep you from falling into that deep, restorative sleep stage. Now, this internal calm works best when paired with a critical adjustment to your external environment. Now, for the external adjustment. About 1 hour before your intended bedtime, begin what I call a light sunset. Start by dimming any bright overhead lights in your living space. Then, address your screens. This step is non-negotiable. On your smartphone, tablet, or even your television, enable the night shift blue light filter, or night mode, setting. This shifts the screen's color tone from bright blue to a softer, warmer amber. Here's why this matters. The bright blue light emitted by our devices mimics midday sunlight. It tricks a part of your brain into believing it is still daytime, which directly suppresses the production of melatonin. Melatonin is your darkness hormone. It doesn't just make you sleepy, it regulates the quality and timing of your sleep, which in turn influences your metabolic rhythm. By curating this soft, warm light environment, you give your brain the clear signal it needs to begin its natural, restorative process. Of course, a calm environment only works if your mind is ready to join in. We've addressed food timing and sleep environment, but there is a third, invisible factor that can silently undermine all your efforts: persistent, low-grade stress. This isn't about major life crises, but the steady hum of worry about health, finances, family, or the future that so often accompanies this stage of life. This type of stress has a direct, physical pathway to your waistline through a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is your body's ancient survival hormone. When your brain perceives a threat, whether it's a physical danger or a persistent worry, it signals your adrenal glands to release cortisol. Its original job was to flood your system with quick energy, in the form of blood sugar, to fuel your muscles for a fight or flight response. The problem in our modern lives is that we rarely physically fight or flee from our worries. So, what happens to that mobilized blood sugar? If you don't use it through movement, cortisol ensures it doesn't go to waste. It helps store that energy for the perceived emergency. And for quick access, it preferentially stores it as visceral fat in your abdomen. Chronic, low-grade worry means cortisol is subtly elevated for hours, quietly shuttling fuel to your belly. The solution is not to live a stress-free life, which is impossible, but to construct a gentle, reliable off-ramp for your nervous system every single night. This off-ramp is built not by trying to stop your thoughts, but by using a tool you always have with you, your breath. You do not need to clear your mind or achieve a state of perfect calm. You simply need to follow a pattern. The 4-7-8 breathing technique is a direct dial into your nervous system, and it is wonderfully simple. Here is exactly what to do. First, sit comfortably in a chair or on the edge of your bed. Place the tip of your tongue against the ridge of tissue just behind your upper front teeth, and keep it there throughout the practice. Begin by exhaling completely through your mouth, making a gentle whoosh sound. Now close your mouth and inhale quietly and slowly through your nose to a silent count of 4. Gently hold your breath for a count of 7. Finally, exhale slowly and completely through your mouth, around your tongue, for a count of 8. That is one full cycle. Repeat this cycle just 4 times. That is all. This prolonged exhalation triggers your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest mode, directly lowering cortisol and slowing your heart rate. It is a physiological signal of safety you send to yourself. As you do this, you may notice a slight, pleasant cooling sensation in your body, which is a natural effect of deep relaxation and a perfect segue into our fourth and final habit. If focused breathing isn't quite right for you, here is a wonderful alternative that addresses the physical tension we so often carry to bed. Once you are lying down, simply take 3 slow, deep breaths to settle in. Now, Beginning with your feet, curl your toes and tense every muscle in your feet as tightly as you can. Hold that tension for a slow count of 5. Then, let go completely. Notice the immediate wave of warmth, heaviness, and relief that follows. Systematically move up your body. Tense and release your calves, your thighs, your abdominal muscles, then your hands, your arms, your shoulders, and finally, scrunch up your entire face before letting it go soft. Don't rush. Spend about 5 minutes on this gentle tour of your body. This practice finds and releases pockets of stress you weren't even aware you were holding. As each muscle group relaxes, blood flow improves, and you may notice a distinct, cool sensation spreading over your skin, a perfect physical preparation for the final, cooling habit. Your fourth and final habit introduces a gentle, yet powerful, metabolic lever you may never have considered: thermoregulation. The recommendation is simple, but its effect is profound. Aim to sleep in a slightly cool bedroom, ideally around 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, or 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. Now, why would a cooler room help with belly fat? The answer lies in a special type of fat you possess called brown adipose tissue, or brown fat. This is not the white fat that passively stores energy around your waist. Think of brown fat as a tiny, distributed network of metabolic furnaces. Its primary biological job is to burn calories, specifically fat and sugar, to generate heat and maintain your core body temperature. When you sleep in a cool, but not cold, environment, your body gently engages these brown fat furnaces to keep you warm. This process, called non-shivering thermogenesis, actively burns calories throughout the night. But the benefits go beyond a few extra calories burned. This activity appears to improve overall metabolic rate and can enhance insulin sensitivity, helping to clear sugar from your bloodstream more efficiently. Furthermore, a cool room is not just about brown fat. It is essential for sleep itself. Your body's core temperature must drop by about 1 to 2 degrees to initiate and maintain deep sleep. By keeping your bedroom cool, you are giving your body the external cue it needs to make that natural temperature drop, leading to more restorative rest. You are, in essence, turning down the thermostat on your fat storage system. The most important rule with this habit is that you should never be shivering or feeling genuinely cold. Discomfort will disrupt your sleep, and that defeats the entire purpose. This is about finding your personal cool comfort zone. Start gradually. If your bedroom is typically at 72 degrees, try lowering the thermostat to 71 for a week. See how it feels. Use breathable, natural fiber bedding like cotton or linen, which helps regulate temperature better than synthetics. Here's a clever tip that sounds counterintuitive but works wonderfully. Try wearing a pair of light, comfortable socks to bed. Keeping your feet warm allows the blood vessels near your skin's surface to dilate, which actually helps release your core body heat more efficiently, cooling your trunk and aiding sleep onset. You can also crack a window for ventilation or use a fan to circulate air without creating a direct draft on you. The goal is not a specific number on a thermometer, but a sensory experience. Your sleeping environment should feel noticeably cooler and more refreshing than your daytime living space. If 68 degrees feels too chilly for you, find the temperature that does work, perhaps it's 70. The principle is the consistent drop, the signal of a shift into the night shift. Now, step back and see the beautiful synergy. The 7 p.m. cutoff lowers insulin. The magnesium and darkness ritual promotes deep, hormonal sleep. The peace protocol lowers cortisol. The cool room activates your metabolic furnace. Together, they create a single, coherent evening routine that surrounds your metabolism with consistent, calming signals, guiding it gently but powerfully toward releasing stored energy, rather than clinging to it. Let's put the whole picture together. These are not 4 isolated chores to add to your evening. Think of them as a single, harmonious ritual, where each part supports and enhances the others. It's like a well-conducted symphony for your metabolism. Your evening begins with the clear signal of the 7 p.m. cutoff, allowing insulin to recede. As you sip your calming tea, you prepare your mind. The magnesium and the deliberate dimming of lights set the biological stage for deep sleep, while the warm, screen-free environment cues your natural melatonin. Then, your brief 10-minute peace protocol, whether through breath or gentle muscle release, actively lowers the stress hormone cortisol, quieting the internal alarm. Finally, as you settle into your slightly cool sheets, your body's subtle metabolic furnaces engage to keep you warm. Each habit makes the next one more effective. Lower cortisol improves sleep quality. Better sleep improves insulin sensitivity. A cooler room deepens sleep. You are not just checking boxes. You are intentionally curating both your internal chemistry and your external environment to be perfectly aligned for a metabolism over 60 to thrive. This is the essence of shrinking your belly with rest, not struggle. Now, with this complete picture in mind, the most important step is how you begin this journey gently. So, here is your only instruction for tonight. Please, do not try to do all 4 of these things at once. That path leads straight to feeling overwhelmed and giving up. This is not an all-or-nothing test. Instead, for the next 7 days, I want you to look over these 4 habits and choose just one. Pick the one that feels most doable, most interesting, or most relieving to you. It could be finishing dinner by 7, starting a cup of chamomile tea, doing the 4 cycles of breathing, or simply turning your thermostat down 1 degree. Practice only that one. Let it become a natural, effortless part of your evening. Next week, you might feel ready to gently layer in a second. Move at the speed of comfort. This is a recalibration, not a race. Lasting change is built on consistency, not perfection. You have the understanding and the gentle tools. Your body is ready to cooperate. You simply need to begin the conversation.